Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to integrate a NoSQL database. In this video we will cover some use cases for NoSQL and the difference between NoSQL and SQL, and we'll also show you how to create a DynamoDB database in a CDEV project. First, our benefits of NoSQL. It makes development faster and offers a lot of flexibility. If you're going to be constantly adding new features, functions, and data types, NoSQL is probably the best option to use. The traditional SQL database is much more structured, and making changes to data models requires code changes, whereas NoSQL doesn't. Now, if you are going to want to do some complex queries, then you want to use SQL, because a NoSQL database does not support relations between data types. If you know all the data and data types that you're going to store and you don't expect that to grow or change, that's when you want to use it. Now let's make a DynamoDB table. Alright, so now I'm going to walk you through how to create a DynamoDB table. I'm going to walk you through the example on our integrating NoSQL database section. It's going to be a pretty quick and easy process. Just need to come into Visual Studio Code or whatever editor you're using. We need to start a virtual environment and then activate it and install CDEV. And then pip install CDEV. Okay, and then while it's going, we'll take a look over here. So this is going to be a pretty simple tutorial here. This first code snippet, it just shows you how to define a DynamoDB table. So you're going to have the my attributes in the my keys, just creating those attributes and keys that you need for the table. You technically only need one primary key, but it is good to have a sort key as well. So in this case, the email would be our primary key, and then this date created would be our sort key. And then here at the email table is where we're actually forming that DynamoDB table. And we're not going to use this snippet directly. We're going to actually just copy this entire resources.py file right here. That's going to create our table and give us two functions that we can use to add entries to our table and retrieve all the entries from our table. So coming back over here, we need to initialize our project. Hold on, let me clear this terminal real quick. We'll just do cdev init, the name of the project, whatever you want to name it, -- template, and quick start. Okay, then you just got to pick the bucket that you want to use. And if I refresh this over here, you can now see I have a project set up. In the src folder, we're going to go into the hello world folder, and then that resources.py file that's inside of the hello world folder is what we're going to change. So I'll just delete all this out, paste in what I copied from the website, save that, and then cdev plan will show us the changes we made, and then we'll do cdev deploy. Yes, and then we just have to wait for this to finish up, and then we can start testing it. So coming back to the website, okay, we have two different commands that will execute our functions. We have the cdev run function, execute hello world comp email adder, and we're passing it this body of things that we want to put into our table. And then after that, we can run the cdev run function, execute hello world comp scan, to give us the scan function that will return all the items in our table that we just created. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this first one so that we can run it once it's done deploying, and it is. So I will paste that in, and okay, we see it executed. We can do this a couple times if you want to add more than one entry. Okay, you can just go through and change some of these. Let's make the second one Pete. His last name can be Paul, and let's make his email just dune@dune.com. Okay, that executed. Now we can come back here and let's get our command to run the scan function. Okay, so it says that ran, And then if we want to actually see what came up in that scan, we need to run the function logs for that scan function. Okay, so let's come back here, put this in. And sometimes this does not work the first time. If it doesn't, then you may just need to run it one more time. Give it a little bit of time for the database to be updated, and then it will scan and bring you back all the information. This one did work the first time. So if we go right here, we get our list of items. Last name Paul, email Dune at Dune, date created, first name Pete, and then our first one was the last name Treaties, email at Dune.com, date created, first name Paul. And it gives you the count, the scan count. It gives you all that information about our table. Okay, so that's it. That is quick and simple how to create a DynamoDB table using CDEV. And you can use this general function here for adding items into your table. The nice thing about DynamoDB is you do not have to declare all the data that you want in that table. You don't have to declare all the data types. You just need your primary key and your sort key, and then the rest can change. Okay, so we could have entries that don't have a first and last name. It could just be the email and date created. Okay, you could add a birth date or something in there as well, and it would be completely fine. That's the great thing about NoSQL databases. All right, hope this was helpful. Good luck.